There are unusual friendships on Family Guy, and then there is Stewie and Brian.
What have you done?
I think you mean, what have we done?
What?
Brian, we're pregnant!
Oh my God!
A pairing that manages to get strange in the most unexpected ways. Today, we are looking at Stewie and Brian weirdest moments. Let's start the show. In Season 18, Episode 15, Stewie makes a choice that turns his whole world upside down. A simple argument with Brian leads to a science experiment that goes wrong in the weirdest way possible. Stewie and Brian start things off with an escape room challenge. Stewie solves it instantly, but Brian steals the credit like it is nothing.
Yes, that is why you bring a dog with you everywhere you go.
Later, Stewie finally calls him out, only for Brian to drop a bomb on him. He tells Stewie he will grow up to be dumb.
But once a griffin hits puberty, they turn into a full-blown bozo.
Bozo the clown?
That one comment hits Stewie harder than any insult he has ever heard. So he comes up with a plan. If nature gave him bad genes, then science can take them out. It sounds smart, but this is still Stewie, a baby with a lab in his room and a habit of pushing things too far.
I can't control the DNA I was given, but now I can control the DNA I want to keep.
Stewie, that's crazy.
No, it's not.
Stewie jumps straight into gene splicing and proudly tests his machine. Instead of becoming smarter, he ends up turning himself into a regular baby. No vocabulary, no genius plans, just babbling and drooling. Brian is stunned. For the first time ever, he is the smartest one in the room, and it is not as fun as he imagined.
Evening, folks. Would you like to hear tonight's specials? That was loud.
With Stewie gone mentally, Brian starts to feel the loss. No more fast jokes, no more shared chaos. No more little partner to make fun of the family with. He even struggles with basic baby talk as Stewie keeps repeating simple words. This new version of Stewie is cute, but it is not the Stewie he knows. So Brian tries to reverse the damage. He pokes at the machine, pushes buttons, and hopes for the best. Every fix makes things even worse. At one point, Stewie ends up as something that should not exist. Brian panics. That is when he realizes what he truly wants. Stewie, exactly as he was.
Brian, you did it!
No.
Oh, sorry.
With no options left, Brian turns to the only tool that never fails him. Stewie's time machine. He travels back to the moment before the experiment and finally says what Stewie needed to hear. He tells him he is smarter than anyone he knows and that growing up will not change that.
You're not gonna grow up to be dumb, you're gonna grow up to be you. Who's way smarter than me.
It is one of their most heartfelt moments, wrapped inside one of their weirdest sci-fi disasters. A reminder that for all the teasing and chaos, Brian would break time itself just to keep Stewie the way he is. In Season 20, Episode 13, a simple craving sends Brian and Stewie into one of their wildest adventures, and it all starts with something as harmless as wanting lobster. The family is eating dinner, but Brian cannot stop thinking about fresh lobster. Stewie jokes about it, but the next day, Brian is still obsessed. Instead of paying for a pricey food truck, Stewie suggests something ridiculous.
What are you even suggesting, Stewie? That we, get a lobster boat and be lobstermen?
Yeah.
Somehow, Brian agrees, so they grab a boat, some bait, and set off like seasoned fishermen. Rupert tags along, but he is just there to look cute and judge them quietly. They are hoping for easy lobster, but the ocean has other plans.
You shouldn't have dumped all my Percocets in the water. Now the lobsters are just down there hanging out and defrauding the government for disability checks.
As they drift across rough water, things quickly go wrong. The waves hit hard, the boat shakes, and Rupert is thrown overboard. Stewie panics. Without thinking, he dives into the freezing water to save him, even though he has no real chance of making it deep enough. Stewie sinks fast and starts losing consciousness. He sees Rupert drifting into the darkness. He thinks it is the end. That is when Brian makes the choice that turns this trip into something unforgettable. He dives after Stewie with no hesitation. The water pressure hits hard, but Brian reaches him, grabs him, and pulls him back toward the surface. It is dramatic, silent, and weirdly emotional as Brian drags Stewie out of the deep. It is one of their strangest bonding moments. A silly lobster mission turns into a near-death rescue that feels more like a dramatic movie than a sitcom scene. In Season 20, Episode 6, Stewie hears one tiny piece of playground gossip that sends him into a full meltdown. A simple cootie scare turns into one of the strangest bonding moments he and Brian ever share. It starts when a classmate tells Stewie she has cooties. Stewie panics because he once shared Play-Doh with her. His whole life flashes before his eyes. He runs to get checked out by the class doctor, which unfortunately is Doug.
Okay, I just want to verify some medical history here. Any recent boo-boos?
No.
Doug delivers the news like he is breaking a stock market crash. Stewie tests positive for cooties. Stewie treats the diagnosis like a terminal illness. He begins taking pretend medicine, rewriting his will, and acting like he has hours left to live.
Oh my god, they've accepted my application! I'm gonna get my final wish granted!
Brian tries to calm him down, but Stewie is convinced his time is up. He starts planning a trip to Vermont for a physician-assisted ending, the same state that probably has no laws about babies riding buses alone. Stewie packs his things and leaves without a goodbye. Brian finally realizes how serious Stewie is, so he rushes to stop him.
Look, Stewie, I know I've been hard on you, but it's only because I've been struggling with my own mortality. What?
He takes the contaminated Play-Doh and eats it. Brian tells Stewie he does not care if he gets cooties too. He refuses to let Stewie face anything alone, even something this ridiculous. It is strangely touching and also deeply unhygienic. It is one of their weirdest emotional moments. A cooties diagnosis turns into a dramatic rescue. In Season 13, Episode 9, Brian and Stewie decide to take a road trip, but somehow it turns into a strange mix of day drinking, questionable flirting, and a three-way they were way too eager to agree to. The story starts at Stewie's preschool graduation. Brian gives one of his classic speeches about how these things do not matter, and for once, Stewie listens. He decides he wants to break out of his tiny routine and live life to the fullest.
I've spent my entire life in that ivory tower, learning from pop-up books and animal sound machines, instead of actually experiencing the world.
So he grabs a van, grows a fake goatee, and invites Brian on the open road. The universe then guides them to their next great experience, a folk festival full of warm beer, loud music, and people who refuse to discover deodorant. A true coming-of-age moment.
I've also been working on my banter, like in case somebody bumps into me. Oh, no worries, bro.
Stewie tries every part of the festival. Day drinking, flirting, judging other people's outfits. He blends in better than most of the adults there. Brian is just trying to survive the heat and not step on anyone passed out in the grass. Then both of them spot a girl they like. They each brag about her like middle schoolers. They each think their girl is better. Turns out, it is the same girl. And instead of arguing about it, Stewie suggests something wild.
A three-way?
I'm in.
Yeah, totally.
Really? Cool, let's go.
But before anything can happen, she suddenly passes out and dies right in front of them. The day drinking hit her harder than expected. Brian and Stewie panic hard. They have no idea what to do, so they give her a quick send-off. A gentle, respectful roll off a cliff. Not exactly the tribute she deserved, but they did what two idiots with no plan would do.
Also, I loaned you $40 for that Lumineers t-shirt, and you said you'd pay me back, so I'm gonna take your bra.
After the chaos settles, the two sit together and laugh at how insane the day got. It is weird, messy, and deeply on brand for them. A three-way they should not have agreed to. A festival they were not ready for. And a friendship that somehow gets stronger through bad decisions. In Season 19, Episode 13, Brian and Stewie discover their future is so toxic it destroys the entire world, and the only way to fix it might be the strangest thing they have ever done together. It begins when a naked Peter teleports into the yard, acting robotic and confused. Soon, they realize this is not their Peter. It is a killer machine sent from the future. Its mission is simple. Find Stewie and wipe him out before he grows up. Stewie panics and checks his lab. He has been working on a Peter robot, but it is still unfinished. Somehow, the enemy in the future stole his idea, perfected it, and sent it back in time to kill him as a baby. That is some serious long-term hatred. The Terminator chases them across town. Bullets, explosions, leather jackets. It is everything you expect from a classic action movie. Except the hero is a talking baby and the sidekick is a dog who argues about everything. They hide at a motel, exhausted. But the Terminator breaks in. When Brian jumps in front of Stewie, the robot stops. Then it says the most shocking thing. Brian programmed it. Future Brian built a machine to kill Stewie. Their friendship must fall apart so badly that Brian becomes his worst enemy.
Stewie, how could this happen? We're best friends.
Sadly, it doesn't appear we stay that way.
To fix the future, they use the time machine and travel forward. What they find is a war zone. Robot Brian's fighting robot Stewie's. It is dramatic, hilarious, and honestly, a little sad. Future Stewie explains they had one small fight. Brian ruined an Instagram post. He left a sarcastic comment, and their bond was never the same.
Wait a minute. Since there's two of us, This means we can finally catch our own tail.
The only solution is to repair their friendship in the present, so they go on a road trip, trying to reconnect. But every time they get close, new Terminators appear. A Lois version, a Dominator version, even an ostrich version. Stewie realizes the fastest way to reset the timeline is to do something bold. They have to kiss. Brian hates the idea. Stewie loves the idea. But with Terminators closing in, they lean in and do it. It is awkward, stiff, and weirdly heroic. As soon as they kiss, the killer robots vanish one by one. The timeline resets. The future is saved, and they quickly pull away, trying to pretend none of it happened.